Today my video is about a bit of a hot take, sports. I see a bunch of people enjoying it and everything like that, watching sports on TV, everything like that, following along every moment of the game. But I don't understand the hype behind it. Not hating on it by any means because a lot of people do enjoy it, but I just don't see like the hype because I mean, you could bet on it. Maybe the benefit is winning money, but I guess that's just gambling, right? Not really sure. So, my first step would be to look into why people actually enjoy these things in the first place. So, my first jump is jumping over to Google. Um, it appears that it would be tribal belonging mostly, so it triggers the release of oxytocin and dopamine. So basically, it makes people feel reward of, I guess, belonging to a tribe. Kind of just looking into the psychology, trying to understand it a little bit. Of course, we're going to jump over to Reddit as well. So let's see here. Okay, so this person's opinion is there's three different types of sports fandom. College sports, you root to the team of the college you went to. Pro sports, you root for the team maybe geographically closest to you. And of course, esports as well. So sort of a new thing there. Uh, that one also makes the least sense to me. Yeah. Um, So that's a interesting, very interesting thing. What about this? National Library of Medicine here. So maybe empowering people's sense of well-being. It's a social interaction thing, it looks like. These people actually did the research. So what exactly is this article's conclusion here? So direct impact of watching sports event on the subjective well-being was positive. Indirect effects were facilitated by meditating rules. Okay. So, what is the actual conclusion? Watching sports can directly escalate subjective well-being, so maybe make you feel a little bit better. Broadens the scope of your social engagements, and serving as individual mediators, like a link. Both social interactions and emotional experiences amplify well-being through the viewership of sports events. So maybe watching sports together probably maybe helps in friendships, friend groups, or something like that. Still a bit of a confusion to me, at least, because like I see it, I don't. Still, let me. Yeah. So sense of community, I guess, is the. So the beginning conclusion is it appears to give people community, I guess. Basically, kind of like a way to get together, socialize, something to talk about, maybe. Um, I guess I've never really had that necessarily, but like, I'll see people watching it even by themselves, so that also conflicts with the thing exactly that I just said. So there's probably more to it than just community, more research to follow. So in this segment, I'm going to see what the people of Quora have to say about it. So basically, why do people have national pride? Why do motorcyclists wave to each other? Why such strong product allegiance? So basically, their conclusion is belonging and self-attribution. So people that desperately want to be a part of something is that one point. The other one is that they attribute that success to themselves whenever they basically make themselves belong to that, it looks like. Um, and I guess it feels our tribal nature is another thing like that, or another point to be made there. And then there's a sense of belonging again. Um, I actually saw this before I started that recording, and basically the lack of a predestined outcome. I definitely like that one because a lot of TV shows and stuff, you can kind of know what's going to happen. When it comes to sports, though, sometimes it's not so obvious, I would suppose. Um, and So maybe some sports that people played or grew up on. I didn't really play a bunch of sports, so that could be why I have a bit of a difficulty understanding it. Um, and then it comes down to pure physical spectacle, the chance to see someone do something that 99.999% of the population can't do. Yeah. And then, of course, there's the thing that I said in the beginning, cough, cough, money on the game, cough. So, at least nowadays, you can definitely bet on those things, and if you win, then you actually get a benefit out of it. You could win money, but again, gambling, you could lose a buddy as well. That is definitely a good point. And then there's the bot. Core psychological factors, social and cultural mechanics, entertainment, psychological substitutes. So escapism, definitely. Okay. And is there anything else to take away from this bot post here that I would want to take away from it? So I guess if you get invested in it, um, it can invest to emotional point. Yeah, I see. So just like wanting to get deep into something, have fun, enjoy it, I guess that's essentially what I'm looking at here. Just another human behavior topic that I definitely find interesting. I personally don't watch sports, but I can see why people would enjoy it because just like I have my passions, I guess some people have sports as their passions. But it does seem like it's very common for a lot of people to also enjoy sports. Not saying that it's bad again, but just not something that I guess I enjoy or understand. But it was definitely a nice thing to dive into. So, what is my final conclusion? Well, just like any other hobby, it appears, it's definitely something to do, something to get involved in, something to enjoy, definitely. So, there's not a lot to say to it other than some of the points that I saw online there and everything like that, but fair enough. Fair enough. I may not be a big old fan of sports or anything like that, or watch it all the time, but I have my hobbies. They have theirs. Now, one more basically bit of research that I'm going to do. We're going to actually have a call chat with my buddy James, and we're going to see exactly, because he is into sports, I'm not, so we'll see exactly what facts he can actually provide to me about it, because that might be the best insight that we will have overall versus just looking it up on the internet. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check that out. So basically, I think it was the World Cup is what he was watching, the soccer tournament. So basically, what I'm trying to understand, at least for the purposes of my video, is what is the hype around sports in general? Because when I look at it, I just I don't see like the benefit other than yeah, you can bet on it, but like what exactly is the benefit of that or whatever?
Kind of your There's a variety of different reasons people are fans, whether they have like relatives that play the sport or it goes in their family. But let's say the World Cup, for example, a big one would be just kind of representation.
Okay.
It's it's a way you can compete with other countries without going and having like a deadly war that costs millions of dollars and civilian lives.
Okay,
And it's a
so
really big form of entertainment subject to people's you know, people's personal preference.
okay, so basically like the alternative to war, friendly competition is basically what you're saying, at least for that particular one.
When it comes to the World Cup, that's a big thing. It's like
Okay, what about
uh,
everything else, like, the big football stuff and everything like that?
I know there's professional sports because it's apparently arguably the highest quality of a particular sport, highest quality performance. It's the most entertaining. Although I would debate that myself. Uh, but representation, people are attached to a certain team, like somebody from your part. Uh, the biggest college in Tennessee Yeah, University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Huge football culture, huge baseball culture.
Okay. So,
Historically, initially it just started out like a lot of the collegiate sports is kind of just something extra that the some of the students could do. You know, like how they have clubs for different shit.
yeah.
Started out as that, but then it just progressively became more popular. And that was people were attached to it by the idea of especially like rivalries. Now Tennessee Vanderbilt, you can because if you go to a college, you build sentiment, you become attached to it. You want to rise above and you want the bragging rights. You want to be able to say that you are better than this particular group. Although within context, of course.
Right. Okay. I
Uh,
gotcha. Okay, so different
I'm
purposes for different kinds of events, sports and things like that. Different purposes of satisfaction, I guess.
That's something.
Okay.
The My whole appeal is regional and national representation. I don't watch professional sports for that reason. I've lived and grown up in Iowa. I have no affiliations with Kansas City, no affiliations with Minneapolis or Chicago. So I don't root for any of those sports teams. I don't root for the Chiefs. I don't root for the Bears. I don't root for the Twins, that kind of thing. However, right up the road from me, where I grew up, is Iowa State University. I
Okay.
have relatives that have gone there. I myself have I've done things with some of their programs. Like I help out a lot with they have an amateur radio club there. I help out with it. And
So,
it's the closest representation. It's sports which naturally people will grow attached to just kind of the appeal, the entertainment. The seeing people perform like all these tricks and they have all this physical ability. Many people find it fascinating. And
okay.
that you get attached to a certain team, there's that huge dopamine rush. You get like whenever your team scores, I guess varying on the sport, because in let's say soccer, sometimes people never score, but when they do, it doesn't happen as often as in any like a lot of other sports. You have that huge dopamine boost that you get from it.
I see. So it's representation of basically who you consider yourself to belong to, and whenever those people win, it feels good, right?
Yeah,
I see. Okay. Because my buddy over in there, in the living room there, was basically watching the World Cup. You know, the soccer game that I was seeing him watch. I don't, I don't know. I think he was saying. I don't even remember what team was versing each other because, like, where I'm not that into it or anything like that. But who was it again?
I wouldn't know
Okay.
because I mean, today there's been within the last like week, there's been like I don't know 20 plus games between different teams.
He's been watching it back to back, so it makes me think, or I was thinking in my head, like, who is he watching it for? Like, I think he said something about betting though, so maybe he's betting on it. I'm not really sure.
I mean, gambling that's a big thing. Yeah, I mean uh, it's a non-authentic way to become attached to a certain team for like a temporary period of time.
Okay, so you can have the permanent attachment, which is like the community you belong to, and then for other things, it can just be purely a financial attachment or like financial benefit, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like you have that. Like if you bet a lot of money on a team that you don't care about, just purely for the financial prospect, like they're going to become heavily like you're going to get into that game, whether you really like sports or not, just purely out of the fact that Well, the outcome of the game determines whether or not you're going to have, food money for the next week.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay, so it's not just all one kind of attachment. There can be multiple different reasons that somebody would enjoy sports, whether it's a community or betting financially, whether you'll win or lose, or all kinds of different reasons.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And it's just subject to people's personal preference. Interestingly, I never thought I liked soccer. This is like the first World Cup I've really been into. But I guess that was just because I didn't have a team that I really was big into. I never grew up with like a professional American soccer team or one of the famous Premier League teams. But like seeing my country, seeing the United States, there's actually something that represents me. And you're playing these countries like European countries, and all of them, they have that huge dilemma about the United States, like all their stereotypes that they make about us, and you just want to find a way to unleash anger, something you can brag to them about.
Okay,
That
so
was one of the big things with like when I was watching this World Cup. It's like I see it's an American team, not the U.S. particularly, but one of the North American teams or South American teams versus like a European or an Asian team. It's kind of, and then from my aspect, I've seen so much on social media of like Europeans shitting on Americans in general, just over the smallest things. They're
so
assholes.
it can
So really, just the idea that that you could beat them in their own sport and teach them a lesson, you become attached to. That was what got me into the World Cup.
so
That's just soccer alone.
it can also be about settling these little differences and be like, you know, let's play this sport over it because whoever wins is right. Almost like war,
Basically, friendly competition.
friendly competition. Okay.
I mean, if you extend that to, there's been instances of people that get shot over which sports team they like more. But
But other than that, just a way to play it out over your differences too, on top of the other things that we've covered so far. Okay. Hmm. Well, I guess that would be the long and short of what I was looking for out of that. Okay. That actually makes a little bit more sense now. So I guess I'll go ahead and do the outro in this call because I don't feel like going back and doing another video or editing something else in. So anybody that watched this just for the little bit of discovery and research, thank you for watching, and until next time.